我们不是美国人，
是英国人。
他是美国人。
Right, yeah, this is me again in the... not again, because it's at the beginning.
This is me in the basement car park.
Yeah.
That's what you mean to say.
That is exactly what I meant to say. Thank you, Jamie. Okay, crack on the recording. We're on to our second adventure here. A few of us are heading over to a nearby beach called Double Moon Bay.
This will be my second outing. I'm going to a beach to do some paddle boarding. I'm told this time I'm going to be experiencing some big surf, and I was looking forward to this a lot. I think I'll probably enjoy the getting there as much as anything else, but it's certainly going to be an eventful day.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on the promise of big surf, but there was a forecast for surf, so we thought we'd go and check it out. Hello everyone, I'm David.
Hi everybody, I'm Jamie.
And we hope to be joined by our good friend Ethan. We'll see if he turns up in a little while. This is the first proof that you guys have actually turned up. So there's Ethan is the first bike following, and then Jamie is bringing up the rear there. And Ethan's got what I would affectionately describe as an old lady's motorbike, or a grandma ped.
As you'll see later, he drives it like it's a 250.
Yeah, it's clearly the most reliable and the fastest. And what you can see sticking out there either side on the back of his bike is the rolled up inflatable surfboards that we've taken. I should say stand up paddleboard, it's not really a surfboard. And for those of you who've tried one, you'll realise it's not the best tool for surfing, but they do surf, they should provide some enjoyment. We were expecting this ride to take about 2.5 hours, 2 to 2.5 hours, and I think it did take about that in the end.
Opting for a cross-country route rather than around the coast route. So you might recognise this tree from an earlier video.
Yeah, this is the tree that's grown around kind of a family shrine, and the roots have formed kind of a house shape where the shrine building has crumbled away and just left the form. There's Ethan with the lovely leather jacket. I remember this made me laugh because we were there a few weeks earlier and we were trying to be quite respectful, and then the very first thing Ethan said when he rocked up was, "Oh look, there's some free mooncakes." That's the first thing he said. Oh, we went to the petrol station, didn't we? Because everyone was worried about running out of fuel. 2 of us don't have a working fuel gauge, and the person who did didn't have much fuel. And that petrol station was quite interesting because there was one young girl there, and she ran the whole show. There was like 8 or 10 pumps, and a whole shop full of goods. She could run the whole thing because it was all automated. It had the little machine on the wall that you would scan.
It's the sign of our times, isn't it? People's jobs get taken away in the supermarket. You can check your own shopping out, and whenever you're doing that, you realise that you're doing somebody else's work that they could be doing. It's sad in a way, isn't it?
It's sad, but I mean, I look at the flip side of that. I think it's quite impressive in a way that so much can be done by just one person. We can see you're indicating now, so we're going to turn off here. And that's the first clue there. The guy with all the balloons on his bike, that was a good clue to say that we were going in the right direction.
I think it's a necessity to buy an inflatable thing when you go to a holiday. I mentioned it before in a previous video. It seems to be some rite of passage when you go to the beach. You have to buy an inflatable toy of some kind. It's like a kind of badge of honour. I've been to the beach, look, it's true.
Yeah.
I'm an inflatable unicorn.
I think a lot of people don't necessarily get in the water or do any swimming or go in the sun and do any sunbathing. So if they don't have an inflatable, how would they themselves know that they've been to the beach? So yeah, this is the clear road, no dust at all. Just getting worse and worse. And as we found out, there's quite a lot of construction. This is my older bike. Those regular listeners will recall that my new bike was in a crash and is still not quite roadworthy.
This next corner, there's a scene that almost similar to one of those pictures that Sebastian Salgado might have taken in the Gold fay with his photography.
Yeah, no, that's
like
good that you've mentioned him, because I know precisely who he is and can recall exactly the relevance of that.
Right, I stopped. I was, it reminded me of those photographs, and I thought they're literally cutting away the mountain, and it's a terrace. You know, activity in the lorries and the cutting machines towards by the hillside.
Now this is somewhat interesting. We're just pulling up here through the small town, and on the right there's a kind of a garage, like small vehicle place, and I stopped to try and get some extra air in my back tyre because it was feeling a bit wobbly and a bit weird. And he said to me, "It's a bit thin, isn't it, mate? You want to fix that?" And I said, "No, it's all right. I'm going to get my other bike back soon."
We had that exchange, and Rosie said that.
Yeah.
It's like,
fateful, for it was mere moments. Well, it was a few hours, but it was not long after this that disaster struck.
This is a bit of a journey I particularly enjoyed as well, going through as the GPS takes us through the back streets and through the local areas.
Yeah,
and
this
eventually
was
the market, the fresh markets.
a bit of sat-nav magic, you might call it. Bit old crappy machine, but I was quite impressed with him. As soon as he saw us, he hopped in and he was moving it away. I was half expecting him to say it can't be moved. But you'll see how narrow the streets are here. He's trying desperately to get over to one side. And our bikes are only small, they're not that wide, and you can see how little room there is. But this was a real highlight, I think, for all three of us going through this kind of little town. It felt
Here we are on the markets.
yeah, it felt very real, very interesting.
It's very common for people to drive their motorbike through the middle of the market, and I've never done it for myself, so this is a first for me. Normally I'm getting out of the way of bikes as they pass backwards and forwards.
Yeah, it
You have to
seems
be
so.
not shy to use your horn either, because people just carry on walking in front of you, and it's not impolite to use your horn either. And
Here we're going to get a good example of how to give way, or rather how people do give way in China. If you've got keen eyes, you'll see the white car coming on the right hand side here. I've spotted them. Fingers onto the brake, because I know what's coming. And I saw the lady look directly at me, and then she just drove out anyway. Not only cutting me up, but driving out in front of a car on the other side of the road as well. And there we are, we finally got there, and you can see there's a few waves. Nothing big, but the boards that we brought with us are inflatable stand-up paddle boards, so they're quite big. They can cope with small waves.
I'm quite impressed how the board can be rolled up so compactly. I'm new to paddle boarding, so I was really surprised how this big structure can be rolled up so tightly and put on the back of the bike, very easily.
Surf report time. There's a little right here. There's another one, there's a big one coming out the back. Let's see what goes on there. Woo, look at that. For a paddleboarder, that's extreme. It's just going and going. Sweet, this is much better than my home spot. And then Ethan, because he's a huge beast of a man, wanted to eat immediately upon arrival. So we stopped at the nearest little place. It looked a bit of a hole-in-the-wall, scummy place, but it was all right actually in the end, I think.
It's good noodles, yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, some fried noodles and some soupy noodles. Keep the energy levels up.
Which you need to pump up these boards,
Yeah.
as I've discovered. It's quite hard work. It's really...
Yeah. Well, being the ever courteous host, I failed to mention how to work the valve. So Ethan spent a good deal of time pumping up a board, which then immediately deflated itself. Oh, we'll have to go back and look at this one again. Look at that, that was magic.
Yeah, I think that it is magic actually. As I say, I'm not quite sure new to this. Getting up on the board is a challenge for any newcomer to paddleboarding. Staying up on the board is the next challenge, of course. And I have to do sewing machine legs because I've got to try and find my centre of balance.
Sewing machine legs.
Well, you know, when you, I think the best way to describe sewing machine legs is if you've done any high road stuff. and you're walking on rope up in the air. You're walking along a single rope. You're
As
hanging
we
up
all
rope.
have.
And then your legs doubt themselves, and they start to kind of when your knees are in a sort of half bent position,
Yeah.
they start to kind of like go up and down.
Okay.
And then I think it's the same. The feeling you get when you're on the uneven, bouncing surface of the water. It has that same effect too.
Right, I think I've got you. I might call that disco legs.
Disco legs, yeah.
From
okay.
rock climbing. When you've been hanging on too long, you kind of get stuck in one position.
Yeah, that
and
sounds
you're
far more
training.
cool to say disco legs than sewing machine legs.
You have a talent for these phrases, though. You taught me chainsaw chicken.
Yeah, which is what you get in China, isn't it? You get they take a chicken, they
Standard.
literally chop it into bits. They don't wait for it to be filleted or take the bones out. They just take the whole bird, and get rid of the head, get rid of the feet, which you get to clean up and process differently, and the rest is just chopped up. It's like literally cubed. So when you tuck into your meal, you've got to be spinning bones out of every bit.
And not just bones, shards. Sharp, splintered, hence the chainsaw chicken. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
As does sewing machine legs.
Anyway, so sewing machine legs does prevent the newcomer to paddleboarding from finding their centre of balance. And I think that one of the things that I found that made it easier was to concentrate on the horizon or concentrate on some spot further away from the board, having planted my feet firmly in the centre at shoulder width apart.
Boom!
This looks like your exploding tyre moment.
This is recently after the exploding tyre moment. I didn't record the exploding tyre moment.
You don't know how many
because I thought we
videos
were
I've got
pretty
of
much
my
done
bike
for the day.
at mechanics place.
But we ended up, I ended up having to leave my bike there for a week. And very graciously, Ethan offered to come back the following weekend and get it, which I was very happy for, because I have kids and I can't disappear every weekend and leave my wife alone with the kids at home. So that was great. We pretty much have to then figure out how to get home. I think we checked a Didi, which is the local version of a
Coming to get you.
Or a grab, yeah.
Grab, something like that. And turned out it was quite cheap, so I considered doing that. But when Ethan offered to come and fetch the bike, yeah, so we took this long coast road, some great views on there. A bit of traffic at one point, but otherwise I think it went okay. And as you mentioned, Ethan was enjoying opening up the throttle a little bit.
I didn't know my bike could go so fast.
And then we decided to introduce Ethan to a stop-off we made in the previous trip. This kind of corner shop, convenience store, stroke alcohol merchant. Yeah,
Brandy importer.
yeah. And we stopped there because we thought it was interesting with the shoe factory across the road. That you can kind of see there's some ladies there sewing shoes together. And just as a nice place to have a break on the journey and a quick chat. And we quickly got accosted by all these local youths.
你会说 hello，
Hello.
说
Hi.
hi， 你会说喜欢什么？用英文来说，
啥？
你会说 I like，
我知道。怎么说我不清楚了。
来说一下。
I like Chinese.
I mean, good answer.
So I attempted to catch many waves, catched very few. I attempted to catch many waves, caught very few.
Yeah.
And
It's pretty thrilling when the wave does catch the board, though. It's amazing. I mean, I'm stating the obvious, but that's why people do it. It's
Yeah.
everything.
oh, I don't think it is obvious to everyone. You know, I think a lot of people will Google surfing or watch surfing videos on YouTube, and they watch very accomplished surfers who perhaps live in a place with regular surf and surf every day, and they think that your average, everyday, regular guy surfs because he likes to, get barreled in a 10 to 12 foot tube and do gnarly tail flicks and do cool tricks. And actually, it's not. It's just I think it's just the interaction with the ocean, to feel the force of the ocean moving you and pushing you. And as you just mentioned, the most thrilling part of that is when it takes you on the board. The speed difference is great. And it's really the a different feeling. It's a feeling that's difficult to describe to anyone who hasn't experienced it, even if you've experienced it in some small way. Right, I think we're done. Thank you very much. Another mini adventure.
There we go.
Done and dusted.
Sorry.
You did just pull that out, man. Bye.
是英国人，你知道英国人？知道吗？
Hello， 我叫黄文化。我不说，我不说，哎，我就不说。Hello， 我叫李一群。
他应该是美国人，说的美国话。 我跟我的朋友做一下，可以吗？